Well, the Avs' new backup just pitched a shutout, and the Avs just traded for a new starting goaltender, so things are happening. Avs win over the New Jersey Devils 4-0. This is a fantastic game from the Avs on a Sega Baba. They went out there, and honestly, it hardly even looked like they had played the night before. And the only stretch of the game where it looked like that was early in the first period. And don't get me wrong, the first period on the underlines is not very good from Colorado, especially early. New Jersey dominated possession and were making the Avs struggle a bit. The difference is, on the few opportunities the Avs did get in the first period, they made them count. The finishing was the difference for Colorado. A lot of that has to do with, one, your top line played pretty well, even if they didn't produce super well in this game. They were the ones fighting possession effectively, and it seems like the Avs finally have an effective and functional second line again. The Avs' first shot of the game goes in the net from that second line. Avs' second line working deep in the zone on the cycle here. Nothing fancy. Val's just going to drop this puck in deep, and Casey's the man in behind to receive it. And Casey does a great job of being patient, but not overthinking this. He's just going to find the open space, find the seam, and hit Ross Colton, who's found the soft spot on the ice. This isn't a fancy pass either. He doesn't try to over-cute this one. No sauce on it. Not trying to make the perfect pass. He just puts some zip on a puck and throws it at Ross Colton in a very thin window. It hits perfectly, and Colton does a good job to finish a stiff pass. Ross Colton seems to be the key for success around the periphery of the Avs' top six this season. Before his injury, he was clicking on the power play, he was working with the top line, he's showing he can function with the second line, and all of that is coming on the wing. I think you may have to keep Ross Colton on the wing at this point, and he does seem like a perfect match for someone like Casey Mittelstadt. Mittelstadt is supposed to be a playmaker, and Ross Colton is supposed to be a finisher. You put those two together, you get a little magic like you saw on that goal, and maybe more importantly, playing a guy like that with Casey Mittelstadt has gotten Mittelstadt's confidence back to where you need it to be. Mittelstadt would pick up another assist later in this game for a 2-point night, and he seems to be getting back to the player that, not that he was early in the season, he was ridiculously hot then, but back to what a second-line center is supposed to be. A one-goal lead in the first period is great for the Colorado Avalanche, especially when you haven't played that well, but Scott Wedgwood was making all of the stops he had to make. He did fail to make 2 stops, but both of those were illegal goals. One, a high stick by Jesper Bratt that knocks the puck in, clearly doesn't count. And the other one, a puck that gets stabbed at in Wedgwood's pads 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It was not a legal goal. The whistle had blown, so it did not count. And it's amazing how one player moving players down the lineup makes your entire lineup better. Not just Colton on the second line himself, but your depth guys playing with a little bit more talent and playing where they're supposed to. It's the Avs' depth that helps them to a 2-goal lead in the first. Avs get the zone as both teams change. A dump in that Kiviranta is able to chase behind the goal line gets the Avs possession in the offensive zone. As he comes around the backside of the net, nothing crazy. He just kind of tries to throw it towards the net. Honestly, not that great of a play, but it goes to an area where the Avs are able to recollect, and this is Calvin DeHaan along the far wall there, collecting the puck and recognizing he has an opportunity. With Ivan swinging around and up towards the top of the zone, it opens up a seam for DeHaan to throw a pass in towards Logan O'Connor in the middle. Great recognition from him, and LOC is able to work hard to find this puck, get a deflection on it, and it goes for him. Logan O'Connor has finally broken out of his early season slump, and it feels like he's starting to produce at more of the rate you would expect out of him across the course of his career. I'm sure some of that is coming off that hip surgery that he had and is probably starting to feel a bit more normal now. But on top of that, you also have a beautiful assist from Calvin DeHaan on that play. DeHaan is not a guy who's going to be asked to produce a ton of offense for this Avalanche team, but if he has that in the bag and can pitch in every so often for the Avs offensively, that's kind of a big deal. The Avs defense becomes a threat with every single pairing. They already were, really, but even more so if DeHaan can throw in passes like that. It's 2-0 after the first period. The Avs have played plenty of hockey periods this year where they've played well and lost them. They only played okay in that one and won it. A little bit of that circle coming back around for them. The rest of this game, however, the Avs played great. Remember, the Avs are the team on the Sega Baba. New Jersey, the rested legs, get destroyed in the second period. The Avs outshoot New Jersey 10-2 in the second period. Only 2 shots given up. That is as dominant as you can play hockey. When you get saves and you control the puck, eventually things are going to break your way, and the Avs get a pretty much dagger goal late in the second. Battle for possession in the neutral zone here initially goes New Jersey's way, but a mishandled puck the Avs are able to jump on immediately by playing at their own blue line. Middlestat collects it. New Jersey's getting caught in a half change right now, and Middlestat doesn't think. He just reacts, sees Lehkonen up the ice, and fires the puck up to him for a clean breakaway, and Lecky is able to finish up high. It's not just the new goaltenders. I do think things are starting to normalize for the Colorado Avalanche across this season. They've spent a lot of time with a terrible shooting percentage at 5-on-5 and a terrible save percentage. A shutout in this game are going to help both of those metrics for Colorado. Guys like Lehkonen, who you feel have had a ton of chances that they maybe have let fall to the wayside, the puck is starting to go in. Maybe some of that is finding those little details in their game and performing that little inch better, and maybe some of that is luck. It's probably a bit of both, but to beat a team like New Jersey, you need to play well and you need to get good luck. They're a good team. The Avs did both of those things tonight. With the second period going the way it did, the Avs are up 3-0 in the third, and this is a just get out of here with a win scenario, and that's exactly what the Avs do. New Jersey does push back, especially early in the third period. The first 5 or so minutes, the Avs really had to weather, but they did. They do take a penalty. They have to kill the penalty. There's a little bit of a lack of discipline that I did not love from Colorado tonight, but they killed all of the penalties they took. The PK even turning upward right now. It feels like everything's coming up Avalanche at the moment. In my last review, I talked about that underlying really good hockey team that the Colorado Avalanche can be. That team rose a little bit closer to the surface in this one. There's still a long way to go in the season, but they're starting to string together wins. They're starting to show out wins that are, I don't want to call them statements, but wins that are big for their season, that prove they can and will be a good team. And now, with the news that they have a new starting goaltender, they might even be further on the rise. So it's a big win for the Avs. It guarantees they win this road trip. They stop any of the bleeding they have with some of these losses. They're continually pushing in the right direction. They still have a ways to go to get to where you want them to be, but I think you can start to feel a lot better about this team. That's the end of this game video review. I should say they do throw an empty netter in for the 4-0. Not all that important. Scott Wedgwood played great. It is a shutout. It's the first shutout of the season for the Avalanche. So tip of the cap to him coming into a new team and pulling off a game like that. The ex-New Jersey player, some of that ex-player curse stuff may be coming into effect there. But for real this time, that is the end of this review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and new goalies.